Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining camp. So this one is just informal talk, Noma. Just for you to come and reflect, Noma. I mean, what na independence play me, what na you looking done so far. So you may around, you may come from different background, different space. You may got the same experience, but you may got a story too. Our own story. I mean, what make it likes to be a Solomon Islander? What na challenges like some of our challenges? Kita him already talk brief kamlem. But by me dive through more of that one time, me karem to wala speakably me talk. Yeah. So basically, our story is not no by no go to us take him stuck a big like formal story or taka talk talk. It just imi here from to fala big problem mi join ano ba eh. I mean what na minimum what na independent milo to fala and what na to looking waka what na to looking no waka and what's the Solomon dream and what na role by Misavi claim as a Solomon Islander. So it's good for Garem other brothers who are joined come from Australia, other brothers joined come from Fiji. Good for look you, David. And it's good for yeah, Garem Eri probably me, Tony, welcome. Yeah, so I think before you me dive through I mean me uh ask him the first question to Mr. Wilfred Luiramo. So Willie, before you talk, is introduce you a little bit, just a brief, yeah. Willie, what na independence him meaning blow you as a Solomon Islander speaking.
Yeah, thank you, Maverick. I think first of all, before you may start, may like for acknowledging everyone who are present, and me Barava happy too much for you have inviting me and big brother Israel here. You pick him right person for at least me discuss and share him issues around him, the lens of independence to some of us. Yeah. By me briefly introduce Noma, not necessarily me should introduce me too, yeah, but Maverick like him. This time me home base now, me base lo Western Province. If you look him ganga plant him seaweed, yeah, him na ganga mi go ahead na this time. Yeah, that one rural engagement where me fala do him, but formally currently me serve also regional coordinator law environment for Commonwealth Royal Society this time. So contract by lapse lo 2 years time. But me sa waka online nomad. Hem na one of the reasons why me decide for time imi garen flexibility lo workplace, imi go back to rural areas and serve. So hem now a little bit brief introduction. Okay. One em now independence hem minim lo me as one of the young person lo country is staka fancy definition by me looking online, yeah. Everyone lo you me accessing internet and then by me looking, but as an individual where engage with him or with the NGOs and sometimes engage with him communities, me look lo independence as a tool, yeah, a tool where him give him young people of country the freedom for you me choose for which future na me like him. Yeah, that's how me look at independence. Uh, Currently, what me celebrating or me looking today is a reflection of the past 47 years. Yeah, no political independence. Yeah. But me, but I would like for putting aside political independence now. You me look now, no independence relating to young people in Solomon Islands. Yeah. So me look lo independence as a choice here for young people or get a freely deciding future blocketa and how now young people by garem confidence for building market seleva and at the same time independence to me looking is a responsibility, yeah, for young people or get to take charge of the leadership of this country. Yeah. That's how me look to him. And then for some of you, by you might say that, oh, independence am not important no more. Or independence by come every year no more. You me by me no youth all aware. You me by grow old. Yeah. So independence has a role in our lives, yeah. You me with young people, where if you me no independent as an individual. By me locked up, yeah. And you me now by become ogata matured people where me barava time him around neck block country go down na, yeah. Because if we are not independent, then lo there now you me young people by vulnerable to corruption, yeah. Or you me hem easy for people outside or people waiting money power, bucket drag him you me around, yeah. That's where me look lo independent, yeah, Maverick. I think that's how me save respond lo first question. And me got other things for CRM, but me coaches lo time lo you me too. So by me respond also na for that first question. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas, really for sharing your reflection there also what my independence mean to you and also the definition how it meaning to you. So I think you may uh, move across law Israel. So please Israel, please just a brief about you just for our brothers Loma and just back to the question what we asked will say. Thanks, Israel.
Thank you, Thomas. Maverick, yes, me too. Like Wilfred say, like for acknowledging me for every Broadway for come online today. We usually say that um, actually those were really should get them credit. Lo country blue me are those local individuals who stay back home. And those where you may come and still, represent him home time you may come outside and still no one pay me, but you may stand up for country blue me. Those kind of people, no in slain have pay mo kata. And so me like for take him hat blue me off just for some respect blue me lo if every voice Broadway if come online today where I'm so how much if I love him country blue me and me really like to acknowledge him that one. Yes, Nemblumi Israel. Me base little bit time lo home, but majority of adult life lo me spend them save with him at different churches no more, either lo home or lo here lo Australia mainly. Currently me lo South Australia. Me maybe some of you might remember me on the wrong side of the government during COVID little bit time. But all for the love of our country no more too. So and now a little bit about him, me personally. Thanks, Maverick. Do I go on to answer the questions?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think probably Wilfred cover most of the things that me too meeting him. So like to repeat him any more of that. But I just want to quickly say what na independence in me really meaning. So just upon some readings, for a nation to be considered independent, it typically means that I'm getting full sovereignty, yeah? Which is the authority for him governing himself without any external interference. So that's the real meaning of independence, yeah. Just how you may find him out a little bit. So there are many other areas where you find him out, like internet, as Wilfred said, but there are three main things that me really like to point him out. What Nahem means to be independence. Number one, there has to be political sovereignty. So that's number one. So nation have got him right for making own laws, blame, own policy, blame, own decisions, blame. Country must doing decisions, blame, yeah? Without country him being controlled or dictated by any other state or any other external authority. Yes, so that's what independence means. It means that him establish him own government blame, him choose him own leader blame, and him set him up own political system blame too. That's one side of what being independence mean. Number two, me like to point him out is that if independence means that you make economic autonomy, where you mean Sabe stand up sa level own economic resources blue me man. Imi manage him sa level own trade policies blue me. Imi set him straight of the economic priorities blue me without heavily dependent on any foreign power. Another one more is under the economy side is that you miss have making decisions about our own currency blue me, own tax system blue me. and tax agreement blame me. Second number, but someone else forcing me for give him tax exemption, na kind of thing. Me have him no happen solo yet. The third one me like for mentioning is that cultural and social identity. It's in everyone here, whether you're from Malaita, Guadalcanal, Western Province, Temoto Province, we are proud of the identity and the culture in Mikarem. And that's one very, very important something about him now. Cultural and social identity. Yeah? So time me sabe that me from Solomon Islands, me sabe na me manlo guale na me sabe speaking language lo home na culture lo me lo there na kata ancestor lo me live Lord that for land me grow up lehem na place of sacrifice lot ancestor lo me lo there now kind of say so some that we really have a cultural identity and that what makes up what being independent mean. And just quickly for answering this question here, what na independence meaning lo yumi if you meet as Solomon Islands youths, yeah. I think number one, many things Wilfred already covered. At least number one, a sense of national identity and pride. We are proud to be Solomon Islanders. Me proud for me man lo Guale. Me proud for me man lo Malaita and knowing one lo British, British rules have a controlling how me think or how me determine me seleva and identity me. So that's for me, being an independent, being a youth in an independent country. Me must proud lo what now cultural heritage me or even national pride. Whereas there are many where no even got them pride over them country blue Solomon Islands, or at least where you may come from. So as youth being a youth in an independent country means we should be proud and be true to who we are. Culture blue. There are many, and I really want to commend Malay Tolo and the program of reviving language, culture, putting right curriculum law schools me, and that's the next point, that you may reform education system me. Now there are many lately where say, hey, you should not study Cold War and kind of thing. Now there's a point behind him, but me think that as youths have important, put Cold War aside, but history have important for me must learn him. One for saying him say those were no learn him history, they are doomed to repeat it. So that's part of what as a Solomon Islands youth, I'm important for me save what na history blow wall there, where na mistake, where na me come from, how na country me inform, what na mistakes of the past, so that time me learning about the mistakes of the past, me by never repeating what the mistakes here. So reform what education system blue me, make sure that I'm studying more topics where I'm relevant for the picking in blue me. So that's and then economical potential blue me and many more. So me by stop there first time and me hand it back to Mavs. Thanks, Mavs.
Thanks, Israel, for good insights and also share from a good summary man and whatnot independence in minimum uni around other young people on Solomon Island. Yeah, I think moving on the next question. Uh, anyone just for house rule number, anyone like ask question? The question time lo question answer come, please just click on the reaction and raise your hand below. Yeah. So yes, enough of that one. So Wilfred, what na you looking him work and what na you looking him no work no in terms of after independence come kasi this time yeah.
Yeah, Maverick, thank you. I think if you me talk about him, the whole thing law spectrum law government, imeruan savena. What na him waka, what na him no waka. Lo how government perform, eh? But me like barava specific now, especially lo young people. Yeah? Me like focus now lo independence lo young people. One fella thing me look him waka after independence and come now is over time for young people. You may look him a good number of young people attending universities now. Yeah, or got them the privilege of going to university. not like before. Before, if you one falman you go school of Fiji, you then zaman the full community na. Yeah. This time, after independence here, most young people exploring universities around the world. So that's one of the things when me looking at waka after independence blow you me. And then time okay the young people blow you me, okay go to the universities here, okay come back, okay educate him you me about him all things, okay find him and learn him too. There are a lot of soft power influence here. Some fall positive, some fall quite challenging for society blow me too, yeah. Now one thing. But the other thing more is what works law youth independence after the political independence is after attaining university, what now by himself qualifications and all this. Young people hold them over the top jobs inside the country and within the region too, inside the institutions law region. So wait him that one me look him that young people Barava start for grow. Not more than 20%, but a good number. You may start for grow over time. Another thing me looking wahem waka after independence now, slowly trend where young people engage law political activities or discussing issues affecting young people around him country or affecting women's and girls or justice issues. Young people start for active lohem, yeah. In the past 20 years, voice blow young people no more. Yeah. Probably, maybe how society blow me look lo young people that, oh, the young people no more or the elders no more, talk about him more things here. But over time, how society have changed and new ideas come in, young people got them roll slowly inside the society. I'm now wanting me looking where I'm waka after independence for you me. And then the other thing more is young people, most recently by me looking young people, garem with the platforms for engage. 20 years ago, you mean no garem this platform for discussing issues affecting you me. So these are the things we would work after independence relating to youth independence. Few of the things where me looking him quite challenging a little bit and him doesn't work out relating to young people now is majority of young people blue me still no garem the freedom for get to make them decision regarding their own lives, yeah. Para no mana. By me garem some fella, yes, especially okata where okata holen waka, or especially those who go to universities. Because when you are educated, you get them respect for people or even family. But a good number of young people where stay or get no completing education or get just no attending education, or get no get much freedom for decide. So the behavior or cultural practice suppressing oketa, or sometimes oketa feel that, oh, me no mas school good, yeah, so me stay quite normal, yeah. But him suppose not for us, yeah. So these are some of the things where me looking. The other thing more me looking is what him not really work out for young people after independence is employment, yeah. You me got him a lot of unemployed young people after independence, yeah. As him today, me not too sure what now accurate data imigarem lo youth unemployment, but Bami says Solomon Islands is one of the highest in the region, yeah. But there is a space where him accommodate him unemployed young people blue rural area too, yeah, the informal sector and the private sectors too. A good number of young people blue engage lo copra, cocoa, kava, and some of these things. So they are part of it too, but the rest of the young people okit no garem formal employment. So him quite challenging. And one of the thing regarding youth independence after Yimi attaining political independence now is the current bottleneck system lo education lo Yumi. Yeah. Yumi using maths, English, science or social science for disqualifying some of the brilliant minds lo agriculture. Some fella barava garem good skills or have a creative lo arts and all this. Where time out fairly much in English or stop lo there now. But in their own rights, lo some subjects, they could do better. So these are some of the things we looking after independence. I'm no work out good for young people below me. I think by me stop there. Thank you.
Thank you, Willie. Israel, is there anything you want to add before you can also move to the next question? The next question is, what's the dreams like? What's the dream like for you? You know, as someone who works within community, what's the dream looking for the next 10 years, and how can Imi around some play role for achieving this for a dream? Yeah, law our own community, but feel free to answer and add on what will say them and just touch on them. Thank you.
Thanks, Marv. I think Wilfred covered most of the areas we're meeting him as well. I think for me, what me just like add on is simply in the part of advocacy, where you youth involved him. What me look him waka and what me look him no waka. In the past, there's a saying that him say that it takes a village to raise a kid. And also that Yumi, yes, Yumi gained him independence, but that's independent from, what colonial powers. Really, Yumi, culture blew me and look at the society blew me before. In the past, it's already a whole system in itself where waka finish, yeah. According to I blood colonialism now, but say him no waka. So what na me notice him, for example, about 50 years ago or so, community Blomifala lo just lo towards the western part of Malango area, Mifala agree for send them one fala student to be trained. Full community now supporting this fellow student, come together, raising fund for him and send him go. And eventually him come school Australia, the whole of Malango send him this fellow student for come. And this person came back and became member of parliament. Many of you might remember him, the late Paul Tovua. So him came back, become a statesman for the country. But it's not a journey where him Seleva him take him. It's a journey of the entire community coming together. So that's something where him worked in the past. Now, in terms of advocacy, now what me looking him no waka is that many times we do advocacy, but because I'm pushed by someone else from the outside with their own agendas. And when that happens, we tend to not go through a structure where already exists lo communities blue me. Imigarem the chiefs blue me, imigarem the big man blue me, imigarem the big woman lo community, imigarem leaders lo church already lo there. But many organizations now time to push for advocacy, they don't even consider these structures where they exist inside the communities blooming. So that is why many advocacies now never work, because they don't look savvy or leadership structure where already exists inside the communities blooming. So I really think that that is something that we as young leaders, Los Solomon Islands, need for realizing. And come back and work through the structure where people blame home. Look, save finis. Even no need for educating about the structure. They know who na big man. Okat save who na big man lo church. Okat save who na big man lo which tribe. So we need to work through existing structures. Lo culture blame in terms of whatever advocacy work you may do. So I'm no more me like for Adam go that one. So what's the next question, Marv? Me just quick time Adam go.
The next question is what's the dream for the next 10 years, dream or vision, and how do you look in different way, play a role for the dream within our own community?
Yeah, I think I don't want to sound too political in this sense, but there is a political party, a couple of political parties in Solomon were really backing this idea of Solomon Islands first. I really dream that for us as Solomon Islands leaders, we like for meeting him what kind of Solomon Islands now you me like him for you me Seleva. Not Solomon Islands where America like him, not Solomon Islands where China like him, not Solomon Islands where Australia like him. What not Solomon Islands where me as someone from Guadalcanal me like him Solomon Islands for Lucasem. What na me as a person lo Malaita, me like Solomon Islands for Lucasem. What na me as a person from Western Province, Isabel, Choiseul, Makira, Temotu, Renbel, what can Solomon Islands na me like him? And I think when we think along those lines, then easy for you me acting out what you meeting him, yeah? Because him patlo you me finish now. Because him looking problem lo there and him say, "Me have fixing that one if me doing this one." Because him lo own eye blue me, own thing blue me. Whereas if someone else na come and push him, by me bang around everywhere, no sabi where for go, and that sland blow project but finish, no anything accomplished no more. So my dream for the next 10 years is mainly for young Solomon Islanders, like what we do already, that's part of the dream that I'm seeing, is that you may come together and say, Solomon Islanders, and me like him. Me like for me, work together for building this one. Me like for me, community below me, work with him community below me, for supporting community below you. You benefit the way, will work below you for community below you. Me work here, but we support each other to build a Solomon Islands where you may not like him, not someone else like him for you, me. That's my answer to that question. Thanks, Marv.
Thanks, Israel and Willie. That's a very good insight. I think I agree with your point about too much new introduction of new system and whatever new type of practice. I think we should empower our existing structures and systems that already in place there. Like your Italy, we already have churches and already we have chief in place. And I think that's by doing that, by implementing whatever changes and work out. I think moving on to question because we got last 30 minutes stay. The first question I'm reading to him chat. It's good question. And it's from our only female yang join di salah live name di Tok Stori Blemi from Grace Innova. I'm saying in communities where leadership is mostly male dominated, what are some ways where we can better support girls and young women to grow as leaders in Solomon Island? I think quick like I parol blame yeah. Him to only girl join di salah Tok Story blame yeah, and most of the female friendly sending go link lo ta otano. I think otano garang enough courage for join ka with him. It's a male dominated thing. I think by looking at the question, it's also on the chat as well. So you can looking and answer. So let me go first, Wilfred. Yeah.
Yeah, Maverick, thank you. Personal view and observation, lo question, yeah, critical one little bit, yeah. Yeah, because you sabe, time you pusum women's agenda in a male-dominated society, bago hitim you had na, yeah. But that shouldn't stop us. Yeah? The thing is, in such kind of communities, you, me, or the young people must continue to advocate and educate him. Our elders, especially men, forget recognize him, the role of women in that community. Yeah, because you me might say that, oh, man now control doing everything or decisions, but if you me look him, women are very important component inside every society. If the male-dominated society understand him completely, the role of women, the importance of women, and the potential women, Karen, definitely women will be given the chance to share their opinions or have roles within such society too. Thank you.
Thanks. Ifal and Pilakat.
Yes, that's a very important question. Unfortunately, there's this negative connotation and narrative run by the West that Yumi, Melanesia, the big man culture him, spoil him everything, I don't quite agree with that too much because Okata chiefs and big man blue me, law, the communities blue me. Yeah, Okat no maritime man, yeah. What maritime woman, yeah. A lot of communities blue me. They have a wife that will talk with him. What got him daughter too inside law of the communities. There are some chiefs that no got him son. Only daughters namot got him. So I think, to go to this community, it's very important for understanding different cultural, context. North Malay different from Kwarai. Malango is slightly different from East Guadalcanal. but to understand those structures and make use of them. If you come to Malango and you know how to approach him, chief, yeah, go through wife blood for chief. You know, maybe if you same age, blood that for a daughter blood for chief, work through daughter blood for chief, because they will always make a way. System blue me, as me say before, him walk a long time come finish, hundreds, even thousands of years. No anything him by surprising me to mass if you respect him, all the structures were already in place. So according to Goro Canal, work through maybe in-law blayu, blood that for chief, wife Blahem, daughter Blahem, they will advocate on your behalf, creating a safe space for women. And another thing left to point him out is that any big conference and gathering law of funding or big fundings law Honiara, you look in time to fund him every husband for come attending how for how for look after daughter block at two, how for treating good wife block at two. No more. Every training it taken girls come no how for empowering girls, how for empowering women, how for then you me the man stadium say, ay, my wife lo mi fala, daughter lo mi fala, teaching me fala, how na for me for look after my coding law, what me for thinking. That time me for doing, me for man no weak yet, me for man strong yet, me for no foolish, me for guaranteeing thing to yeah. So I think to really know where our cultures are. Train mo the chiefs blue me. Train mo the big man blue me. Brothers blue me. Sister blue me. Okay, na pa champion him daughter block ata. Okay, na pa sa evil man quite leave him daughter blue me talk. Then pa daughter blue talk. That's the power of our cultures here. Where I'm stopping this. And I think many organizations not realizing this one. And okay, too that is why to him cause him stuck a problem inside the community blue me. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Israel and Wilfred. I think your grace were satisfied to answer and reflect them as well. Uh, so over to the everyone will join. Anyone like ask question, please raise your hand. Then we'll open them for this way ask Darren Kabla. Yeah. So answer. We got a last 25 minutes. Raise your hand. Feel like ask question. I think me continue the question. So Wilfred. Oh, okay. Able. Please feel free.
Hello. Well,
Loud and
me,
clear.
thank you. I'm loud, yeah? Okay. Thank you very much, Israel and Wilfred, for reflection below you too. I think you tell focus too much low youth as me.
So I think we got a little bit network problem. So please feel free for typing question below or chat box here. Whatever, please feel free for jumping the content you got a with a network here.
How youth need for you me
Okay, thanks.
need for be me focus no more lo o sempat lo independence ya.
Okay, okay. Oh, network bro ya mas lebet. Saya na Solomon Island ya, wala fasantiam no waka well ne. Network hem no sa waka ya. Even though ini gotta stuck at power traffic open in the community, but Honiara we first this wrong. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Wilfred, as someone providing a small job opportunity for young people or village, and at the same time you still a village full time too. What na you looking threat lo ta young people were in encouraged to come back lo town go back lo village uh lo village lo what na looking threat lo ta lo side lo peace and security lo village yeah because to me most time we encourage oh you want people lo young to be build go back lo home yeah.
Yeah, Maverick, thank you for that follow question. I think from observation, depends on which society now immigrant big population do him, yeah, low town, yeah. But from observation, what me find him lo here, young people from town where or got influence lo most antisocial behaviors, yeah. Time or got come back lo home. Or got barava influence him or got young ones blow me lo home too, yeah. I'm no one for thing. And one of the challenge where make him okata youth lo home easily given is okata not well informed lo negative impact lo especially now with the substance drugs here. Oka just think what enjoy him no more. Time okat money serum copain or I think this time you me understand him. Eyes or anything else me feel him that him run through lo town blow me finish yeah. How me think him. But then time otakam or young home no understand him effect blow things yeah. Oka just understand him no more the fun and feelings. And then other fall behind other people. You know? So there is a big threat here. But then especially for the young people who are engaged in the church groups and activities, yeah, me find them more strong because they have a purpose, yeah, or the young people, yeah. Others were just no save go low to and also, yeah, him now, or easily drag him out around. So there is a threat, but then the thing is, community need for playing role by educating young people about him, the shift from town come back to rural area. That's one thing. It is a gap too. Some of these young people ogat stay low town, ogat no find him what now pepes blowata. So ogat just come back home, influence him young people no home negatively. Few others no more. Ota come back, ogat doing good things lo home. So not every young people will stay low town, come back with him a risk lo home. Others ogat doing more positive stuffs. Thank you.
Thanks really for answer. If you like add or the question, feel free to ask any question, anyone. Okay, Joe.
Okay, thanks, Wilfred and Israel, even Melvrick. I think it is come in, I think, middle of conversation, but so far me get them information very clear and really good. Yes, as you mentioned him, like said, things were affecting youth, maybe inside the community and how not me by get I mean, like, you try to not get rid of them, but you try to reduce him, yeah, those things. And as Wilfred mentioned him, there's a good things where me tell him out. Like, I think young people love inside the community, I mean, really, ota no save now what no purpose blow ota, yeah, inside the community. That is why I think ota just stranded no more, just go and follow influence no more. And I think looking at community level or side me looking like sad lo imi tahap low down na crime rate. I think sad lo community policing me looking me very good if imi community imi strengthen him those I mean like in each community garam now community policing by me very good especially for try for you look after them now on community blowing because like inside the community imigaram yeah family and imigaram the community society and even provincial and imikam national. So like thing is imis begin law inside law house where imigaram parents teaching inside and some fella imi sabe that imi raised differently yeah like some fella in broken families or no parents but whenever involved inside as Wilfred mentioned like community programs activities like youth programs and other religious activities by looking beginning I'm grow come maybe become someone yeah, different so um what me just like for comment lawyer no is like him good for me look back lot structures where some Israel him mentioned him like him already lo there him need for him strengthening those things no like him got a family where him need parents you need for talk lo beginning and him got a community and even society where him grow inside so I think him no what me level comment come to him thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for outcome and also sharing reflection blue law. I mean, of the ways and how I miss strengthening the existing also share the experience there as well. Yeah. But otherwise, yeah, the question is, I mean, I'm still open for any ask question. So please feel free for asking question. If you like ask question, feel free. Yeah. P, Joe, and others. Soko, yeah, feel free for asking question. Lo tu wala problem, yeah.
Maverick,
Yeah.
before anyone ask him a question, me just like comment on what Junior him raising. Very important, yeah. Something to do with him community policing. Yeah. Uh, me like talk about him na experience me fagaram last year. Last year sometimes lo June team from police lo gizo kam kasemi fala na and set him up na community policing. After out no come back kasem this time now. So finding Blomilo, that one, there is a gap here. I think national government through Ministry of Police need for resource him now, that ministry, for support him now, or get a provincial police stations here for implement him now, this fella community policing here. That's one thing. And the other gap me find him lo there too. I think it needs a review here inside law police act here. There needs to be a legal or legislative recognition the role of community policing. Because finding Blomilo community, previously, time we got choose him, oh, you follow the committee members now. For any crime or anything, you follow report him. Those people inside the committee, yeah, okay, not protected too, yeah. So, reporting part, yeah, you mean society blow you me if you report him someone. Bayo kat makemuna eh. So those people inside Lota committees yeah, okay at the risk too and they are not funded too. Okay, doing voluntary numa too. So community policing is a good idea, but I think him need more resource, more review in terms of legislation too. So that uh, people blowing me inside law community where part law committee yeah, okay, must be protected. Imi garam samfal people no home where you report him ota ota kamaron bully me na. Kano se men. It is a risk for their own security too, yeah. Thank you.
True one, really, yeah, true one, yeah. Thanks for sharing from Pati. I think and two one follow the challenges with the community policing initiative law Honiara him no walk out there because it's saying I think immigrant people are relate to people to so time real team na people and not only these are people to individual person na ba react but people were connect them ba react to yeah and this something that me looking sa kalota people around yung community policy no ta voice lo Facebook example lo ta lo Gilbit Cam Green Valley me looking mo ta uh, raising to the question and I think Otana used to have a successful model or community policing in Honiara, but then him die out my I think it's success because in terms of funding it got a good community support model where it's zone name by him na what the okakai for the boys who wake up on night that was the community police in here. But I think for the longer run, hal other garden challenges with him too. People were reacting to said the supporting motor boys were wake up for look after community. Yeah. But yeah, that's a very important and valid point. Yeah, thanks. Um, yeah, since Mr. Garem, uh, 10 minutes left, so anyone got any burning question, please feel free for unmute and jump in come. Yeah.
Mavza, can I also just add on to that fellow conversation?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. See, that's very important when it comes to policing, because hem come back law this fella question of being independent too, yeah. Because when we are
Go on.
independent, we know what our priorities are. That is why many of us a bit vocal on social media, especially time government. Hemi always talk about them national security, and go out for ask him land for foreign donors for fund him now, rearming the police. Many of us are really against it because not same issue if ala serem and tatsim kame. Real issues below security, Los Solomon Islands, not within community where we struggle for, at least we struggle for managing it. And yet government pour them in hundreds or even millions of dollars just for buying gun and riot gears and new vehicles and new black Land Cruiser blood PRT and kind of stuff. Whereas that's not where the money should be spent. Money should be spent on supporting community policing, as Wilfred have raised him. So just want to add on to that one. Thanks, Mal.
Thanks, Israel, for good point. Yeah. Mr. Garem, kind of ask question, so feel free. Able, please, able.
Yes, me, November. Okay, ask him no more. Or a simple question no more.
Ask him.
No, too much. No time blow me and go. I think Israel now I am mentioning one of a statement where Talem say what kind of Solomon Island now you mean like for looking your future or dream of you. So me like to ask question number. You may everyone will joining youth and advocate and also me. Like I know everyone try my best for solving several issue when I'm with youths. But like what now was several best approach or several roles where we need for step up more for me make him now this for Solomon Island where me dream about him yeah for him become for him happen or by me make him into reality. Can anyone further elaborate them? Like sometimes me ask her because that for a statement where Israel I'm giving question where also it's a national vision and with responsibility. Yeah. So I mean uh, can you further elaborate on how now for me as a young people this time for you may come together because I know a lot of educated people go to school, university, finish, come back, graduate, finish, then not run away more from country. Yeah. I mean, that is sad thing when we look into yeah, man. But also, you may need to work together as an educated people and also people with like-minded. I'm now some like we will discuss a little bit. Thank you, Maps, and thank you, Israel. Wait, Wilfred.
Thank you. William, is that like jump in?
Bro Wills, like to start or can...
Bami Israel you start and then Bami Sabe add
Oh,
on
I mean,
later.
looking at the human resources, time educated people go.
Okay. I think let me add on
Yeah.
comment. So I think that's a good question, Abel. I think, and also the question that you should ask himself too, as a educated Solomon Islander. I mean, what's our role in our own community? What's our role in helping a committee? Sometimes you may need for help mo ta committee blame your village writing letter go lo ta responsible authorities as if login company and polluti river blame me you me ota the educated ones na you got a role for at least guide him na kata people of community blame me. Hana by me sa support him na community blame me back with him na the knowledge and the capacity that he got him. Yeah. So it's come back to us here. We accountable me still a developing country. You may got a big role yet for playing na our own community, our own space. Whereby also contribute, nationally law contribute me. Yeah. So am nominating me of to contribute nationally. No, come back to our community. Imi got a role for play. Imi got a role for motivating to ordinary young people who still class 6, form 3, form 5. Imi share amount of challenges blame me. Um, Imi support lo the best team to support in terms of our capacity. Like me already mentioned, support team our village committee. Like lo home lo mi fala ota young people especially lo langa langa side before always go back and support community blovala or best one of support him if you money lawyer anything what you let him lolo home you wise using network blue na if you money environment side anything you do the environment home you must use him knowledge blue na but it come back to the person you make guarantee yeah because sometimes you may have capacity but it come back to like how passionately you may about go back and help people of the like tala able yeah staka good and blame you to full finish I'm even blame you because at the end of the day we need something too yeah for supporting you miss your family blame you so immediately two opportunities where you miss have a fight fame for further adding to value to ourselves and whatever qualification you may got yeah I think that's my takeaway on that one yeah. Unless William
Yeah,
Israel feel free for add.
yeah, no, thanks, Marv. Here, just to that's a very important question, and it's a question where for me, Seleva, me stay up awake at night most of the time, although me lo here lo Australia now. But I always think, inside lo most law, not my own personal time. Just because Miss Taylor here doesn't mean that I'm not involved in the Solomons. Good question. When I start, I think really have me come back lo how enough for me creating what the youth blue meet for become really self-determined for self-determination. Whereby I could not driven by anyone else within Garem Selena by Pulumokat for doing thing. I think I'm really good for supporting Okata youth where really believe lo what Okata dream that even money him not determine him whether about a dream or no more. And I think that's where many of us here, I'm keeping an eye out to see kind people of them and provide him support me behind him okay, kind leaders the same. For me, it's a level of home. Lo Goro Canal. I'm still the chairman. No matter Mr. here, me chairman lo school lo home. I'm sorry for bringing Bible come inside. Lo story believe me, but Matthew chapter 25 inside him say whatever you do to the least of my brethren, you do unto me. Yeah, so time me for look lo too much problem coming inside lo community lo me follow belaha. You talk about him ludo every time, Kwaso, marijuana, everything. We feel that we can change those ones today, but Ben taking big wakatumas. So we took the long vision where we thought that we should build a school. So Mifala building a school where we think that if we had to change the community of Belaha, you may change him, not a small and upcoming young generation will come up. And it's a big vision within the school that every day the gospel is preached, because we believe that if gospel and goal heart the small one, they become changed human beings, no matter what family, what's still under moral movement or heathen or somewhere. But these kids can take him the light of the gospel back to the communities, change him mom and dad blocketa, change him village blocketa, and hopefully we might not see 100% change, and we're not expecting that, but we are looking for some change. At least if any small change happen, the community were knowing change them before, that is something that me fala by happy lahem. And that's the vision going forward. At least for Belaha community, we want to educate the next generation for come up, for Savile big man, value the values where scripture him teach him, love, respect, look after one another, work, sweat for money, no go after remote logging companies and mining companies for slang, and try for instilling these values in our youth so that they know how to work and support themselves, self-determined, be proud of who they are, know the heritage and the culture, and hold strong them and no let them slay in anything for Mubu Mokata. It's a big vision, although I'm sound the same, but that's at least a vision where we feel like for starting within the Belaha area. Thanks, Mavs.
Thanks, Israel, and also I note that pero you come back lo Honiara, you go home for the mota community wakana, and then the recent travel come back, you go building schools too. So I think that's one of the good example too. Yeah, if you stay overseas, you come back holiday, you must actively give back to community too, and it's something that thumbs up to you, bro. Yeah. Wills, anything?
Yes, Maverick. I think me like him the response where Israel put him earlier on, yeah. And in brief, me summarize him also. In the next 10 years, you may like him as Solomon Islands, where him fully controlled and owned by Solomon Islanders, yeah. Not people outside drag him around. Okay, the question we're able to ask him a critical one a little bit more. What now role by missile plane for achieving that one? No easy, not easy. Looking at our current leadership, looking at the behaviors of our leaders in the next 10 years, look by me a little bit off track go mo, yeah. But then what me feel him and what me believe lohem him also, every young people in a society have a role to play inside law the specific sectors where me engage lohem. You may got a role. And I think the key one is advocacy. Yeah. And the other thing is continue encouraging young people for go school, get educated. If we have a good number of youths who are educated, by gare mokat pikinin were educated too, yeah. And from there, by me build him country, yeah. One fella trend by me look him this time. Some fella young people where get educated, go through challenge where parents go through life hard, serious lo school. But majority time parent no school good, pikinin bara no school na. It's a normal thing, yeah. So you mean as long as we have an educated population, a population where I'm responsible, a leadership where I'm responsible, government where I'm responsible, by me start get close to what me like him. But even in the next 10 years, things might be quite different go more. So what ba me tell him for me where sit down and listen this time no more? We do what we can in a positive way for contribute to community, contribute to province, Bloyumi, and country. Thank you.
Thank you, Willie and Israel and Errol. So this will be allow for anyone asking last question now. Yeah.
Yeah, good evening, moderator Maverick and two fellow speaker, me Wilfred and Israel. My question me just focus mainly with political system political parties. This one now one fellow big question to us me like for asking you to all is there any law where by him stop him MP so intending candidate for grasshopping, and this one now me need for put too many law there. There's a system of grasshopping and make him decision making political parties. Him sometimes him no must good too, bias and Imi no follow to policies where political parties affiliate or run under. So is there any law where him safeguard him this one from avoiding na grasshopping? You take for one good example na Fiji. One good example for him learn from na MP where you jump out from that whole political party and you go join him Narwan, you definitely lose him seat blame na.
Yeah. Thank you. I think Bami a little bit add on lo for respond lo Gio. I think the biggest gap inside lo grasshopping have no PPIA political parties integrity act Hem no rule him out now movement of MPs from party to party yeah. But then it was referenced on the fundamental rights inside the constitution where an individual hem garin freedom for move because there is an argument lo hem where you should not move from party to party. But then okat say no ma you respect him rights block it. That respect of right where would make reference lo him inside the constitution I think him now him make a problem but during the what na ba him say drafting stage lo constitution blow me ogat forefathers blow me during time what adopt him ogat might look him different not in that context but you sabe how politicians blow me look at ways for defending ogat seleva they will find any avenues that ogat sabe protected lo him. The other thing is moving from party to party is an indication of how our leaders don't have clear priorities Ogat just finding way no more or ticket for going no more. Or me go join him SIDP or United Party, me win finish, me jump lo government now. As long as me win no more. Yeah, that's one thing. The other thing more, that falag gap him happen because of ignorance lo people blow you me. You me continue for electing leaders where Ogat focus more on individual than policy and putting this country first. Yeah. Or money uncle no more, me vote him. A good candidate with him clear vision for building country come just because him no connect lo me by blood, me ignore him now. But that could be an individual where him fix him now problem yeah. But at the end of the day, I think each time you may raise him this one the political parties integrity act need to be reviewed now yeah. You follow look him recently, me no mas garim clear confidence too lo this fala electoral act lo you me. Try look at the number of petitions filed. Go. No anyone disqualify it. Yeah. Not saying that Okat Mania should be disqualified, but when an offense am committed, you may expect him lelebet nakol blolo hit hard loketa. But then no more anything happen, which him defeat him now whole purpose for at least imi garam clean and fair election. Yeah. So in the next election, by me look him him dirty and him unfair all the way no more. So I think him no little bit comment below me. Thank you.
Well, I think Will's covering most of it. Me not really citing this fella PP Integrity Act here. But yeah, as Wilfred rightfully said, respecting the right of that individual, whereas the votes where him come in, him people, not on that just that individual. So yeah, sadly at the moment our laws believe me him really weak for protecting and guiding me. Like Fiji, you vote for party, vote for individual. Australia is the same, you vote for party, vote for individual. Whereas you home, yeah, you vote for individual, we're part of a party where Bakaya I would jump out from me still for get them head me around him here too. But no, we not really got much to say, but I think Wilfred cover most of it. Thanks.
Yeah, I think that's all. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Israel. Thank you, Wilfred, for come out law, personal time, little. I know it's late. It's a got time for spend with your family, but thanks for share a lot of brothers and also whoever join and most of the issues that you may raise, you may ask question is something that as a young leaders you should reflect them. How do you may find a solution, and also how you may play role for change law our own community blame, yeah. So I think since custom law land blame Since Imi start, before Imi go, Israel is closing with him a word of prayer before Imi just dismiss. Thank you.
Give me prayer. God, our Heavenly Father, the governments are on your shoulder. Any government, Lord, you are actually the one where you give him authority. You too, God, where you bless, and God, where you give him prosperity. And Father, Lord, you say, Lord, you, as you say, Lord Jeremiah, that me got a plan for you, plan for not for spoiling you, but plan for prospering you. And God, me feel like for just claiming that for a prayer tonight for each and every one of us individuals, where me feel trying best for walk in the way that me feel believe you call me feel for walk there, be it in place below advocacy, be it studying a course where me feel studying the uni or college, whether me feel a farmer, whether me feel just someone where really love him nation with me fella, or island provinces with me fella and long for looking change. Me fella pray that God you empower me fella, because God you not God where you know like for looking injustice, Lord, where you say Lord blue. Lord Micah chapter 6 verse 8 you say me so me fella what him good we fella do him, and that is to seek justice, love mercy, and to walk humbly with our God. So me fella, just like for believing these words that you by leading me follow God tonight and onwards, in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you,
Amen.
everyone, and good night, Levi Rwanda.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night,
Thank you,
Israel.
Thank
Mavs.
you.
Good
Thank
Thank you,
you.
night.
Mavs. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Blessings.
you.